All right. Cairo, welcome everyone. Thank you, Baba, for joining us again for our this is our sixth class, our sixth or seventh class. And we spent a lot of time going over the Adoshu, which is okay because I know we all had a lot of questions about it. So that class took longer than expected. And now we're going to move forward to the second lesson that we had that was about the ritual implements of Obatala. And we could, well, I guess this is almost like the second part. So once you went through your doshu and you had your airing OSHA that was given to you. I know a lot of us just have our airing given, and the instructions may have been a little bit nebulous, or we'll just receive it and then we don't know, what to do with it. So I guess this will show you, the importance of, what to do with your airing and how to, you know, how to really take care of it, and what's the importance of it. So Baba, so we spoke about the receiving the general airing last course, the importance of the initiation. So I guess if you can, speak to, I guess, what things do you think that are important in regards to, your quote unquote shrine of Obatala. So what is generally the importance of an implement? I know sometimes we may just have objects and we may not know um, the intensity of it. Some folks say the implements are just as strong as the Orisha, but what is the ritual implements generally speaking? I know Shango may have, like a thunder axe, or Olokun may have a wand. So what does an implement mean? In the Asheshe culture?
Ah, I can you reframe that question very well so that I will not have to answer it?
Okay, so yeah, so we have things such as like the and we'll speak about these in depth, but like the airing, I'm sorry, like the Ada Osha, the Igbin, the Opaya Shoro, like the things that go with the Obatala airing. So is there a general word in Isheshe like for implements, like for those other ritual items that go with the airing? Is there a name for it, and what's the general importance of having those things next to the Obatala airing, if that makes sense?
Yeah, yeah. Now, okay, if I may get you clearly now, we are talking of the importance of this icon being that complement the N, right?
Correct. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And now let me first of all answer that one so that if you can say the other. Now, these things they have importance. And if you look at them, you see that they are icon. For example, let us talk about the earring itself being the body given to someone that truly you have gotten your Obatala, the representative of Obatala. That's one. And the representative of Obatala, when it comes to the image, that is when we have the array, the carve, this thing. That is one. Number two, the aja, which you hold. The aja, the usefulness of the aja is just that it's like we use all these things to connect to the spirit, the unseen spirit of Orisha, because that is what they listen to, that is what they hear. And we can use all these instruments to call them to our presence.
Mm-hmm.
For example, now when we are doing Oseo Batala, we used to shake the aja, we ring the bell of aja. We rang, as we are ringing it, one way or the other, there are some spirits around. There are some spirits which will be coming around. That is why you see most time that you see some women or men, they went on trance.
Mm-hmm.
Understand?
Mm-hmm.
The Aja also is bringing the spirit closer, and also the chanting. While they are chanting and they are making this sound, so it brings the spirit around. Likewise, the drum, which we call the igbe.
Mm-hmm.
So all these things, they are musical instruments. that that call down the spirit of Orishala. A lot of things going on while we are dancing, while we are singing. There are a lot of, for example, now during the process of dancing and singing at times, some people might have some difficulties, but in that process, the difficulties within them might what will vanish through the singing, through the dancing, and this thing aids what they call trance. All these instruments, that is what they aid most. Thereby, we have a very pure spirit of Orishala. So these are the importance of all these things now. But when we are talking of the ere, which is something like effigy that we used to carve, that we put at home, that one is just there as what? As a symbol to represent image of Ọbàtálá and image of Yemo. You understand, sir?
Got you.
So that is how we have it. But your main Ọbàtálá icon, which that connects you as your Ipori, is the airing or the altar of any of other Orisha given to you.
And so a couple of questions, and thank you for that. That was some really, really clear points. So I guess with the singing and chanting, and so when that happens, and the spirit of Obatala is descended upon. So, and then I guess you would recommend for people at that time, like when you go to different drumming circles, or when people are singing and bringing them down, like that is when a person should really pray for whatever things that you want to come, because literally the spirit is walking around, correct? Like the spirit is here in the material world, and this is when you want to pray to Obatala for some type of resolve.
Yes, exactly.
And so before we get to the statue, so with the airing, I heard this story, and let me know if you came across this essay before, to why the airing is important. So I think I came across a story. I don't know if this was Irosomiji. I don't know. Again, I studied a little bit of E5 before I went to 16 Kairos, and this is the only thing that I do. But there was a story about Obatala and a couple of animals, and they were playing this game.
Elephant.
Right. So exactly, and so it was a elephant, I think a buffalo, and then Orumila and his wife, but I forgot what animal his wife was represented as. And so, long story short, they were playing this game. He messed up his teeth, and so he asked the elephant to, if he could borrow a tooth so he can cover his mouth. They're always supposed to keep a secret, but the elephant didn't. So, this is why, something happened to the buffalo. Nothing happened to Arumila's wife, but then the elephant was, his parts were made from, so yeah, they use the elephant's tooth. So do you know if that's true? That have you heard that story, or do you know any other I guess importance between the elephant and Ọbàtálá?
There is a story I have, but it's different from how you just said it. If I will try and check my book so that when I get it, I'll type the story out. And it's also in the book of in this book of Ọbàtálá, the god of creativity of Baba Ifáyẹmí Ẹlẹ́bùíbọn.
Gotcha.
So he's talking about the elephants and the Ọbàtálá. You understand? So in that story, they went to a party. They went to a party. I don't actually understand that story very well. I can't recall, but let me find out. But it's a story between elephant and Ọbàtálá. So the reason why he gave him his teeth just to be as part of icon of Ọbàtálá. I will try and check the story.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't remember the story.
And then I've seen some that are, well, again, I was looking at some old pictures, and things of the past has been significantly different. And I've seen Olokun, bracelets that were made straight out of ivory. I've seen, and I don't know if this was the earring itself or or other parts, but it was like a long piece. So I guess traditionally they're still just little small pieces of teeth. Like they don't do like the long pieces of Obatala.
Mm.
Hmm.
The elephant trunk that you are seeing that Olokun temple is elephant trunk, is earring, you understand? Is
Uh-huh.
earring as well. But that one is not carved the way the Ọbàtálá one, the way the Ọbàtálá one is being used. So there is a way we do our home. So they just leave that one inside the Olokun temple.
Got you. I got you. Okay.
So that is
Okay.
not how we do the whole thing.
Okay. And so, and as you were saying that, so with this is that this is like an icon of Obatala. So when you receive this airing, after the adultery, so is this when they're preparing it, is this Obatala itself, or is this just like a representative and just a way to communicate with it, if that makes sense? So when they're giving it to you, so your airing is just it's just like if you have I guess a cell phone number or a phone. So this is just the means to where you contact Obatala is through the airing after when it went through its ritual, washing and its ritual process.
It's a contact. I see it as a contact through Orishala,
Mhm.
whereby the incantation of his image, of who he is being spoken into the air. Understand?
Mhm. Mhm.
So that is how it is. It's a representative of Obatala.
Gotcha.
By
Okay.
all, this is where you can connect. You can connect through Obatala while you have your hand. Now we cannot see Obatala anymore. Can we see him? But we can't see him. But we are contacting Ọbàtálá through the ivory and at the same time through what he takes, like kola nut, like maybe your tea, like ìgbín, like ẹyẹtù, ẹyẹlé or whatever, or goat. So
Mhm.
that is it. So it's like a connect
Mhm.
channel to what? To Ọbàtálá.
Got you. Okay. And so when you mentioned about like that statue, so you said so so of course the other implements are the things that will call attention so that the spirit can enter into this material space. But then you mentioned something about the statue, and I'm forgetting the name of it in Yoruba. My memory
Eré,
just
eré, eré.
right. Okay. Right. So with that, so you said that, so that's a symbol. So that's not necessary. And I know sometimes people, well, at least I heard people say that they will consecrate the statue itself. So that's not. I guess if you could explain that. So the statue isn't necessarily Obatala itself; it's a symbol, but at the same time, people consecrate it. So is it
Consecrate, yes.
So I guess what would the reason be for the consecration? And then is it just something to represent Obatala, or does it help bring the spirit of Obatala to the to your ritual space, to your shrine space?
Do you know that Yoruba so much believe in spirituality more than physical thing? They love that whatever they have, they like it to be purified or consecrated. You understand me?
Hmm.
Now, for example, now, do you know that sometimes if you want to make a sacrifice, all these clay pots that we used to buy at the market, there is a particular leaf that we used to pluck. Then we use this leaf to wash that clay pot very well.
Hmm.
Now, I asked one day, why are they using this? They say, so that the floor, so that the pot can have a very speed connection of receiving so that your answer will be so that your prayer will be answered in time.
Okay.
So that is why that is why they do what they used to, cleanse the clay pot with such leaf. You understand? Now, our fathers, our ancestors, they believe so much in the power that is within away leaves and herbs. You understand? And when they bring all these things, when they bring all these leaves together, it has something that forms. And whatever they use to wash, when they call it its name, definitely with the faith and with the faith, it has been connected there already. And they now use something as a final confirmation so that their faith can attach to it. That is when they now get a kola nut and say, okay, this consecration that you have done, it is okay, it is perfect. When the kola nut is accepted, no doubt about that. You understand? If the kola nut and the kola nut has never accepted, they will still ask if there is something remain. You get it?
Gotcha.
So they have to dig down to the bottom of it so that they can have the accurate answer. Now, not to deviate from that. So when they watch this thing, it's like the connection of Orishala is also going to be in their presence. That is why all these things are consecrated with with a way. You understand? And if you want to leave the icon just like that, fine, you can leave it. But for all these spirits to connect with each other, you understand? To connect together, that is why they do, consecration for the area as well.
Gotcha. Okay.
Understand? If you don't have the icon, that does not mean your Ọbàtálá is not there. Your Ọbàtálá is there. You can, so far you have gotten your earring. You might not have a ring, but it is good just to have them so that you can have the complement of the spirit. And this icon as well is representing the image, just an image representation of what Ọbàtálá looks like and how they looks like. Maybe they are dressing, they are this thing, they are you see, we have different way of carving this icon. If you get to Ijebu, the way they carve it is different. If you get to Ife, the way they do the carving is different. You understand? So the way it appears to them, that is the way they do it. That is the way they do the image, representation.
Right. Okay.
You understand? So that's it.
Oh yeah, no, I was just gonna say that. Yeah, I've seen things like that, or even when folks would have like the the white cloth, and they'll dress it with the physical cloth and wash it to bring more attention to the spirit, there itself.
So that is how it is. So the icon is just to represent the image, and they having it along with the earring. It's just like to complement the spirit, the power within the power of Ọbàtálá.
Got you. Okay. Okay. And so, and I know that, and thank you for that. So that does make sense. Is that, of course, all the icons, they're ritually prepared, as you said, with Elway, with a type of, each Orisha has its own herb that it prefers. And when it's cleansing it, it's keeping it purified, and it's keeping the Ashe, I guess, present. We have the icon or the Erin, which is, the physical representation of Obatala. But when we have the Ere, the different statues next to it, it complements the space, and it brings more attention, to that spirit in that space. So this is why that, we'll keep that statue clean. And when we're calling and bringing more attention and bringing songs and praises, it keeps that spirit nearby. So I guess after a while, that statue will be, would you say that statue will be considered sacred as well, or kind of charged with that Ashe of Ọbàtálá? Because don't you feed the statue as well, the food with Ọbàtálá to the statue, right?
Yeah, you can just do in your leg. You can do in your leg. At times when you use snail, You can let the water of the snail touch maybe the head of the icon. Just let it pass. So
Okay.
let it touch it. So
Okay.
if it is blood, just let it touch it pass. So that's it.
Okay. And so let's say when you feed it, and let's say for an example, like the simplest thing that that we have here, of course, if Obatala doesn't ask for more, is the Inia and the Gusin. So if we were preparing that, would it be best to do like two separate bowls, like you put a small bowl for the Erin and a small bowl for the statue, or do you just feed it all at once, like one just big bowl of Inia and the Gusin and giving it to the icon?
No. Not in a big bowl. Just piece of bowl. Just little bowl. Just put it before Obatala. Then it's not all the whole iyan or the whole egusi. It's not all. We the one we give it Orisha is we call it inyole.
Okay.
Understand? We
Yeah.
call it inyole. So that is what we do. Inyole we do in such that we just look for a small piece of plate. We put it before the herring. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Then we cut the pieces. We cut the pieces of we put it there. But we will have the word that will be saying while we are doing what, while we are putting it down. So we say Òṣàlá, ìyànlẹ̀ rẹ, iyán rẹ, àti àtẹ́ rẹ, òun là ń fún ọ yó. Dákun, kó wá bá a tẹ́wọ́ gbà ó. Dákun, and keep making different prayer, different prayer. You understand? On it. That kó bá wa ṣíjú. You first of all put maybe 5 down, 5 put it on the ground. You have the egusi melon. You understand? Then you take another 5 with the meat.
Mm-hmm.
We use it to cover it again, to cover the whole 5. Then we cut just one. Understand?
Mm-hmm.
We show it to Ọbàtálá. Then we open it down. And then we mention that during the time of trouble, that Ọbàtálá should do what? Ọbàtálá should, during the time of problem, Ọbàtálá should cover you. You cover him up, you say that. So during the time of, if there is no problem, if blessing are coming, Ọbàtálá should do what? Ọbàtálá should open you so that the blessing can get to you. You understand? Then you put it on it, making number 11. So that is how we do the Inyole. Understand? So the rest, Inyo and Egusi. So all the people around you, you let them eat. Just little out of it. That's it. That's how we do the Inyole for Orishala with Egusi and Inyo.
Got you. Okay. Okay. And that's interesting as well, is that, when you all are eating, just like, during the adultery, like you eat a little piece of it, or you're sharing the meal with Obatala, correct?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You have to share the meat with Ọbàtálá, then you share with people.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, those are some I guess some good questions going for starting off, with the statue and the ritual space, and how that ends up being an area to where Obatala will come around. And I thought I had a picture of this. Mine is upstairs, but we'll just chat about it. So the Ada Osha. So of course we've seen that's the machete with the bell. So I guess, and I guess certain, if I'm not misunderstood, certain places maybe would use used and implement more so than others. But can you speak about like the Ada Osha, the machete, and what's the importance of it?
The importance of Ada Osha.
Yes.
I think I've said it earlier that the Ada Osha that we use it to bring the spirit around while we are ringing it. And also it's part of musical instrument that anytime the mothers in Orisha, they are going around, they make it to confirm Ashe. You understand? maybe they use it to confirm Ashe. So when they are praying for someone, they will be shaking it. You understand me?
Mm-hmm.
So that is the importance of Adaosha.
Mm-hmm. And so with I'm sorry, go ahead.
So they use it to invite the spirit around and also to make Ashe while they are making prayer. And it serves as an musical instrument for them.
Okay.
So when they are singing, that's the way they used to shake it as well. Understand?
Yeah. Okay. And so do they wash, or is so with the with the the eye doubt is so the
error. You want to ask, do they wash with Omi
or Omi mirror? Okay.
Adaosha. Do they wash it? Do they feed the Adaosha? Yes, they do. They do the washing.
Okay.
At the same time, they feed the Adaosha as well. This
Okay.
Adaosha, they share the food of Ọbàtálá. They share it with all the instruments. You understand? So if you let's assume you give Ọbàtálá snail. So let this water of that snail, let it touch the Adaosha too.
Okay.
When you feed with blood, let the little blood touch the Adaosha. So the moment you are doing it, it's like you are making it sacred. So that anytime you are using it for the purpose, so it will be connecting easily.
Gotcha. Okay. That's good. Okay. And so yeah, and I've had, so there's one song that I do know with the that folks would sing with the Adaosha, and they'll say how does it go? Like Biukule mi bowa getting ajija, mafajija jamole getting ajija. You know, so they were saying like if the spirit of death comes.
People lè bọ̀ wá o, gbérin àjìjà, àjìjà náà gbérin. Àbí ó lè ní bọ̀ wá, gbérin àjìjà, àjìjà náà gbérin. So what they are saying is that, according to what I said the other time, they can use it as part of material to make ìṣẹ́gun. You understand? If you look at Bíkúnlé nígbò wá gbérin àjìjà, àjìjà náà gbérin, he's saying in that wise that while they are doing the ego, so the person must be shaking ajida. You understand? They will be shaking the ajida. So while they are doing the ego, make sure that the person is shaking ajida. That Iku, it will use the ajida to drive Iku away. That will use the ajida to drive sickness, disease away. That is the meaning of it. So it serves as an instrument, a sacred instrument to drive away spirit, evil spirit, and at the same time you can invite good spirits.
Right.
Good spirit, you understand? So that's it.
Good. And that's and thank you for that. And that's a good point. And so just for you all who may not know, so Iku, of course, Iku Aron, or for those are the Ajogun, all the negative spirits. And so what he was saying is that when you're shaking the bell, is that you're pushing away death, sickness, loss. And I know this word gets kind of mistranslated, but I guess we'll talk about that later. Iami or people who use IJ negatively, from my understanding, but we'll go into that deeply. But there was a story about how some people who were using, things negatively against Obatala, and he uses the to push it all away. So that's a good ritual importance. So this is really interesting. It shows you the importance between traditional music and then physical health, spiritual health, and mental health. So it's more than just ringing a bell for aesthetic as we would see it, but it's really medicinal and healing. Do you know, with I guess the same thing with the airing, or the ere, the statue, or the Ada Osha? Do you know if there's any quote unquote taboos for these ritual implements, or but besides, of course, besides the taboo of Obatala, but is there any taboos or things that you should not do, or or things that these implements should not be around?
The taboos that are you saying the taboos that are attached
Yeah,
to this uh
yeah.
to this implement?
Or are there any taboos or anything like that for these implements, for the airing and for the for the ajija?
There is no taboo. There is no taboo. There is no
Okay.
taboo. There is no
Okay.
taboo. There is no
Just
taboo.
gotcha. And I was just curious. Okay. And then this is something that I'm completely new to. I've seen it, but I don't know what it's for. So the aruke. So can you just talk about what the aruke is and what's the importance of that? And for y'all who don't know, I don't have a picture. I'm sorry. It's the hold
Are
on,
you
I'll start
talking of
with
Urukere?
mm-hmm.
Urukere. Are you talking of Urukere or
The the long, yes, this like this right here.
We call it whisk.
Uh-huh.
Irukere.
Yeah, something like that. So and I don't know much about it, but do you know what the importance is? I've seen that other deities have it, but I've seen a lot of Obatala, Baba Larisha carry it as well. So what's the importance of this whisk? Do you know?
Yeah, the importance of this is a symbol of a king, of a royal person. That is why it is being held in the hand. You get it?
Okay.
So it symbolizes you being a king or come out from a royal family. And as you know, that Ọbàtálá, they believe that Ọbàtálá is a king. So that is why you need to have it. You need to have one.
Okay. Okay. And does that relate to some type of, so is that with I guess general practitioners, I guess just in general, or is that related to someone who had received some type of rights, or some type of title, or is this something that every Obatala practitioner should have?
It's what Ọbàtálá practitioners should have. Even is what they need to be holding while they are going outside.
Okay.
Understand? But not everybody realize this. And not everybody used to go out holding this, or just to know that, you are this, you are that. You understand? But we only attach this to only the kings, the political kings. Meanwhile, it's part of the instrument of the spiritual kings. And who are the spiritual kings? Ọbàtálá. You be an Ọbàtálá priest. You can be using it. You can be using the Irukere. Yes.
Okay. 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 And do you, and it does, so it confers the title, well, it confers the essence of a king, of someone in authority. And do you know if it does anything, does it work in the same fashion as like as the machete? Like, does it push away anything spiritually, or this is just something that just confers just a type of authority? Does it have any, I guess, hidden spiritual purposes?
No, it's just for authority. It's just for authority. But mind you, you see, our fathers, there is a way they work on Irukere just for protection. You get it? And if they want to do that, there are some things, there are some kind of herbs and incantation which they will bring together. You understand?
Yeah.
And it might come in a form of something that we put together and we tie it with black and white. Then we'll add it to the bottom of it. Then they will wrap it with leather. So anytime you are going out, they will be telling you that you hold it. So there are type of different work that they can do on it. That is it.
Okay.
So
Gotcha. And okay. And sometimes I've seen the way that some people would, work it. But so right, so there's different incantations, there's different way that they will wrap it up with
Yeah.
leather, and then this will be used as a form of like a charm or a protection in the way that you walk or carry yourself. Okay. All right. And the next one is Efun. So I think we should know what the Efun is. Let me pull this up here. And I should have put this I should have put this picture here. So of course we call this different things. Of course in Africa, some people call it Inzu. I think that's with the folks in what's that, Igbo? But we call it, Efun. And it's not the same as what's done in, like South America with the Caracerelia. I think that they just use eggshells, but it's different. So this is the picture of the Efun. So I guess, can you speak to us about the importance of Efun and why is this something important to have for Obatala practitioners? But yeah, the importance of Efun.
Medicinally is very, very important. One. Number two, it's also important. It's for importance during rituals and during different rituals. Apart from the Ọbàtálá itself, you understand? Number one, let me first of all say it from this angle. You see this Efun powder, Efun, when you grind it, if someone is having a bad dream, you understand?
Mm-hmm.
When you grind it, you can use it, apply little water on it, and use it to paint all your body. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Before you sleep at night. There are some people that they used to have bad dreams all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So with the help of Efun that is on their body, in fact, it will keep, if there is a particular spirit that used to come and affect them in the night, this Efun on your body will help drive away that ajogun, that spirit, that evil spirit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You get it?
Mm-hmm.
That is number one. Do you know that we use Efun to stop stomach ache?
I think I've heard, and I think in some cultures, like in Uganda, and then of course here, we kept a lot of African things during enslavement that we would eat the white clay from the dirt, from the earth, but I didn't know why people would eat it. Mm-hmm.
We use Efun to do what? To stop stomach ache.
Mm-hmm.
You understand?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Do you know that we use Efun to protect ourselves from smallpox, chickenpox of Obaluaye?
Oh no, I didn't know that.
You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So those are the usefulness of Efun. You understand? And also, why we are doing Oro Ọbàtálá, you will need it. It's part of the material which they'll be using to make some marks on your body, some dots on your body. You understand?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You get it? So those are the importance and the usefulness of Efun. So they are good medicinally, and they can be used for rituals. Mm.
And so does if and I don't know if this is like a literal translation. So does it mean something like purity? Because I know, of course, Seseefun, but does it mean white or purity, or does it has a literal translation to what Efun means?
It doesn't have Yoruba name. It doesn't have English. We are the one that is giving it our own English interpretation. Efun is Efun.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And so
we just know that it's something white.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why we just give it different name. Efun is Efun.
Gotcha. Okay. And we've seen not only we'll speak about, I guess, the area, that the statue for one. And so sometimes I guess I've seen folks, like, if they would prepare an Ọbàtálá statue to make it look different from all of the others, they'll paint it white, but it doesn't look like they're using Efun. So not only do you use Efun like during the the different rituals, how you see people are dotted or marks are made, you would use this Efun also to paint your Ọbàtálá statue, right? Would you put a little bit of water and apply it to your Ọbàtálá statue?
Yes, you can do that. Yes,
And
but you see, during the the festival that we have in Ọbàtálá, in Ọbàtálá temple, World Ọbàtálá temple in Ile-Ife. And you normally see that the Ọba Ìṣòro, they used to put the F1 on their body. You understand? That one is not F1.
Oh, I see.
It's not F1. Yes.
Got it.
It's not F1. But that thing turns to F1. It turns something white.
Okay. Okay.
Ifin is what we call it. Ifin.
Ifin.
You understand?
Okay.
And there is something that they use to prepare it. It is not F1 at all.
Okay.
It is not F1. And something they use to prepare it. And when they are now saying it, using it on their body, it will turn white. So when you come around to the World Ọbàtálá temple, all these things will be clear to you. Gotcha. When you have done your Ọ̀ṣun and your Ọ̀ṣun and Uru. So you get to know it.
Okay. And what you mentioned in regards to dreams, that's true. I've seen a lot of it here, and some things, we're learning on how to help people, because majority of our background is like mental health or spiritual health. So what we have seen a lot is when people will go to sleep and they'll wake up with like scratches on them. So of course, here, with the Americans, they would say, oh, well, maybe the person is scratching themselves in their sleep or they're not controlling themselves. But we actually have pictures of people going to sleep and they're waking up with big scratch marks across their back. And so these people are and of course, a person can't literally, touch the middle of their back and make those marks. So we know that somebody's being affected in their sleep or in their dreams. And this commonly happens to a lot of people who can see really clearly, or they can see things in the future before they happen. And this will happen to me as well. So I guess this will be a good remedy for people who do have those type of spiritual attacks in their dreams, just to put the phone on them as they're going to sleep.
It's good.
Okay. And so do you use it? So I think I've seen some, I think they're called the Benlike or Benkele in the ethnic group in Cameroon. So I've seen that, and everybody's different. They would use I think they call it Nzum. So they will put the chalk under their eyes, or when they're doing certain rituals to kind of like see things clearly, or to interact better with the spirit world. So when you all are using it, I guess in the daily ritual, do you put do you put the F on your face during like regular like the regular devotions? Like if you're praying to Ọbàtálá, do you apply it, or do you just usually use it more so for
not all the time?
Gotcha.
Not all the time.
Okay.
Not all the time. But when we are doing rituals, we have to do that. When we are doing, for example, now, when someone is having a doshu, we apply it. So when we want to feed Ọbàtálá, maybe for one important reason, so they will say we should apply Efun on our body. Whether it can be in our hand, it can be on our face, just have a mark on our face, or have a mark in our hand. So that is when we use it, not often, especially when we are doing Ọ̀sẹ̀. No.
Gotcha.
Not often.
And last question in regards to Efun. So is there a specific like poetry or chants that are used to activate the Efun itself, or is it just general praise poetry to Ọbàtálá that will be effective when you're using the Efun?
It might be, but it will definitely be, because I've never studied up to that. Understand? But the only thing that I just know is that the Efun is powerful.
Okay. And then
it's very powerful. And I don't think there's going to be a chance anyway. There's going to be a chance because I've never studied up to that level. You understand?
Gotcha. The same.
So
like there's so
we
much.
learn every day. We learn every day. I too, I'm going to find out on that.
Exactly. The same thing. Yeah, thank you. And the same thing. There's so much stuff that's out here, and you know, I love learning from from not only from the Yoruba, for all of our other brothers and sisters, to see like what's the consistent thing that a lot of folks are doing. And so you know, when us folks here, we're taken as slaves to America, is that we have a lot of oral literature that still is preserved, and so they spoke about a lot of things that they still do now. So they will go to the earth, they'll pick up the white clay, they would put it on their bodies, they would eat it, and it's the same thing that how people do in Uganda. They would use the white clay for for rituals, and some people will eat it. But here, and I guess, and I know our brothers and sisters in Brazil. I'm not sure how this started, but some use it. So some people didn't use, if I'm not mistaken, parts of the earth. They just use eggshells. But with Seseefun, this is white clay from the earth, and then they eat bean shells that are grinded together. Like it's no eggshells in Isheshe culture.
No.
So that's interesting to know. Okay, so that's the Seseefun. So of course, sometimes I spoke with another sister about this as well. Is that she received her airing, and she just receives the airing herself. So when we came back, we just put it in a white cloth until we keep it safe, or they'll put it on a clay pot or whatever. But it's best that Ọbàtálá be inside of the Igba, and that's where he should rest, correct?
Yeah, because there's a particular guy that say, that means he stays in the calabash and fight fiercely. So it shows that Igba is the normal place where your Ọbàtálá should be, not inside Awo. It's because of things has changed. That is why people are deciding to put it inside Igba. Inside ceramics. Understand? But in the ancient time, they put it inside calabash, a very good calabash. That's where they put it. I've visited most places. Whenever they want to bring their Ọbàtálá out, I discovered that all these Ọbàtálá, they just went in and brought calabash. You understand? I say, definitely Ọbàtálá supposed to be inside calabash, not inside ceramic.
Got you. And you said that the saying that says, Ọbàtálá stays home in the Igba and fights for you inside of the calabash.
Yes.
So yeah, and this is what we have as well. And we've seen different they're styled differently. So some will be, just a plain calabash, some will be white with will be painted with Seseefun. Some will have like the beads on it or something like that. Are these Igbas, are they ritually prepared before they're given to someone, or is it just having a clean Igba will be good enough to place the airing in?
Now this is what is it. You see, all this thing is just decoration. It's just decoration. You understand me? When they put what they call it, beads around it, or cowries around it, or I count it to be decoration. And when it is being done like that, it's going to be very hard for you to add the Omi error maybe at the back of it. So you will see some, instead of adding that Omi error at the back of it because of the decorating so that it will not spoil, they will rather use the water to, just to wash the inner part of it.
Right.
Because not the inner part will not be, there won't be anything like clothes to decorate it within. Understand?
Right.
So it's only the water, it's only the Omiero, which you are going to add to inside the Igba, not at the back of Igba. Understand? And for people who doesn't paint the Igba, so they wash both in and outside. Now, after it has been washed, that is when they will now use Efun to paint that what? To paint the calabash.
Okay. Okay.
You get it?
Mm-hmm.
Before they put the Ọbàtálá and the rest icon inside it.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay. And I guess to understand, or rather to know how frequently one should do it, is that you would, of course, ask your Ọbàtálá with the Obi to how often he needs to be cleaned, right?
Yeah.
Mhm. Okay. Hold on. Let's see. We got one question here from one EI. She says, "What did people use if they had a taboo of not using calabash to put the orisha in?" And she says, "I have this taboo." So I guess okay. She said, "I guess what were people using in the olden days if they could not use a calabash to put their orisha in?" And she said that she was given the taboo of not using a calabash. So is there anything else that she could use?
Yes,
Um,
they use carved carved wood. The carved wood like ajere.
okay. Uh-huh.
You
Mhm. The
understand?
so the
Uh-huh.
agenda is the
Yeah,
E5.
the carved one, they
Gotcha.
will be painted it with Efun. Then they will put their this thing inside it. Or some they put it inside clay, very, very big clay pot that has cover.
Okay.
You understand?
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
Let me see if I have
That's
that.
how they so that's how they put it if they have the taboo of calabash.
Okay. And I'm just checking I think I thought I had a picture of that. So yeah, he said the agere, which is the it's like a wooden carving kind of like container. And this is where you can sit the emperor the egg being inside of. And I thought I had a picture of this too. But maybe I don't. So okay. And that's how mine was prepared. It was just the regular egg bean. Oh, see, here we go. So this is something different. It's but this of course is not for Obatala. If I can move this out the way. This is something for that someone made for either Olokun or Aj. But I have
Okay.
seen something that was done like this to where it was a white one. So you said so this will be and this is the Ajere Ifa right here
Yes,
as a
yes.
supplement. Mm-hmm.
Painted blue. This one painted blue. So that is how it's going to look like. A carved wood like this. So putting on, yeah, something like this nature.
Yeah. So yeah, these look pretty nice too. And so and what is there a name for
Very
this
good.
right? Exactly. Yeah. Is there a name for this stand that they sit it on top of? What is this like a motor or what is this called?
This one, the one under it.
Mhm.
Ah, that one is like it is true. It is, can you scroll it up so that you can see the design on it? This is
Oh,
a stool. It's a
okay.
stool.
Nice.
Mm.
And yeah, that's the end of the picture.
We
Yeah.
call it, some call it otita.
Okay.
Mm.
Oh, there is a design.
Mm. Yeah, it is true. Can you see it?
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Okay. Yeah, these are
It's a,
nice.
it's a decorated stool.
Okay.
Look
Okay.
at it. Very, very unique.
Mhm. Yeah. Okay. So, and then of course, as you're saying with and I think I have a picture of the Igba here as well, is that mine isn't decorated. It's just a regular Igba that has the Efun that's painted on it. And this is another picture, y'all, of the Efun at the bottom.
Mm.
All the Olokuns are different, but this is how Olokun was made
This one,
in
this one is Olokun. This one is Olokun pot.
hmm
Mm.
Oh, so does you all's and I thought and I think I was looking at one from Benin. So does you all's Olokun look like this as well in Nigeria?
In Nigeria,
Nice. Okay.
we have different way of doing it.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Mm. We
Mhm.
don't have something like this here in Nigeria.
Okay.
Mm. I mean, I'm talking of the pot.
Right.
Different places that I've been to see Olokun. I've never seen something like this here in Nigeria.
Okay. Yeah, and this one I seen this one in Benin. I can't find the one for Obatala, but this is one for Yemoja. So this is the the Igba that we were talking about. How he said that some they decorated with Ig and
Yes.
all.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you're saying that this is difficult to care for because you can't ritually wash the outside. You only wash the
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so that's good to know. So I suppose so. Again, if and thank you, EI, for that question, Sarah, because I had no idea that was a taboo. But yes, you can use other alternatives, and I guess for everybody else, if you have the igba itself, try not to get it painted, or I'm trying not to have it decorated with beads or shells, so you can wash the igba, and then if if we want to have something nice, then we can just have that larger ejere and put the igba inside of the ejere, I guess, for for looks, so to speak. Okay, that's a good question, because I didn't know most of that there. And like you said, every day we learn, so that's a good question. This one got kind of cut off a little bit. So some of these may be straightforward. So Seseefun, can you speak about the importance of Seseefun? Now, sometimes we can just think of it as just beads, but is there, what's the importance of Seseefun for our Ọbàtálá, Iya Lauritius and Baba Lauritius?
Yeah. Number one, Seseefun is good for decoration. It's something that we used to decorate ourselves. We used to decorate. Look at the pot that just showed me now. They use Seseefun on it to decorate it white. So likewise, we use Seseefun on ourselves to decorate ourselves, to make neck bead, to make earring. You understand? And also one thing is that using of Seseefun, it shouldn't be just using it on our body ordinarily. We also consecrate all this Seseefun for our use spiritually. For example, we can use Seseefun just to make what they call protection. Understand? For ourselves, maybe like a yonu agbalagba, protection against evil ones, or to have what they call owo on our body. Owo means to give somebody respect, so that if any bad things maybe on his way, so if any bad thing so that any bad thing will not happen to someone, maybe on his way, maybe in the night or wherever. That is why we have what they call owo, which can be made from some leaves, and we use with Seseefun. Understand? So those are the important of it. So unlike the one in my hand here, like the bead that you put in your hand, there is a way we can do it so that it will be a bead against the attack of Yami. Okay. Or like a protection against any evil thing apart from the Yami. Like a protection against any evil, so that evil will not come someone's way. Be it in the midnight, be it in the day, or be it whatever time. So we can use Seseefun for all those things. And at times we use Seseefun for children who were unable to who make it very hard to do what? To walk, to stand walking.
Oh, okay.
So there is a way our fathers use it as a waist bead.
Okay.
For small children. You understand me? So it has a lot of spiritual importance that we use Seseefun for.
Gotcha.
And also we use it to decorate ourselves, ordinarily.
And so I've heard about that as well, for the the respect. I'm sorry, and that's called, or not ordo, owo. The
Okay.
respect. So and that's of course not only with the herbal implements, but is that is it designed to look like sheshef? I mean, I'm just having a I'm
You
having
say
a
what? Hello?
yeah, I'm trying to think of, I'm trying to put my words together correctly. So with the respect talisman, you were saying that that was be made with different types of, herbal concoctions, and then in Seseefun will be I guess decorated around it, so that when
Yes.
somebody's around you, yeah, it creates respect, so people won't, take advantage of you or just start disrespecting you because you have the, Obatala's nature character, so to speak.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So, and you see, at times when you put on Seseefun, it makes people give you the respect of where you actually come from. Mm.
Gotcha.
So that is one thing about the beads. Any forms of beads of Orisha that we put on.
Okay.
So
So now with the share shift, of course, and thank you for this, because like the previous class was really helpful about figuring out, how much should you keep up with things ritually. And I know it's a fine line of, you don't want to neglect things, but still make sure that we're taking care of these sacred icons. So with the beads themselves, and some of them are like elastic, some you can slide off, some you have to cut and tie them back. How frequent should someone start to wash their sheshefun? Would you need the omi imero, or can you use efun by itself? And then also, like, how often should people be washing, their orisha beads, or consecrating their sheshefun?
it depends on how convenient it is for you.
I'm sorry, I'll repeat that. You said it depends on.
It depends on how convenient that
Okay.
one is for.
Okay.
Uh-huh. It depends on how convenient. If you decide to be, giving to be consecrating, you are washing your Seseefun every day. If it is convenient for you, go ahead. There is no problem with that. Mm.
Got you.
Understand? Uh-huh. So
And
if you just wash it maybe once in a while, it's okay. But just make sure that your Seseefun is always clean while it is on you. Mm.
right. Right. And the way that it's consecrated. So and of course I know most we probably can't say here, and that's fine. We'll learn in person, and when we get there, we'll worry about it. But are all of the implements of Obatala washed the same? So is the airing, so like let's say if you're consecrating the airing, and you're consecrating like the Igba and the Sheshefun, are they all ritually consecrated the same way? Or is the Sheshefun washed and consecrated different from the Aryan Osha?
Uh, at times they wash it in the same way. At times they wash it in another way. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
I said something the other time that if they want to prepare something, if it is owo, there is a way you are going to wash that one. If it is eyonu, there is a way you are going to wash it. You get those two things is different from the washing are different. But if we are talking of consecration, the
Right.
earring with icon, so definitely you are going to wash it, with all the same way you wash your earring. You get it?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
that is it. Mm.
Okay. And the consecrate, so in the consecration itself should be something that's only done one time, right? So once something is consecrated, it's good. But then after that, then you'll find ways to keep it ritually clean or ritually washed, right?
That is it.
Got you. Okay. Okay. That's cool. And I know sometimes, which I don't like, is that, some people will sell the beads here just by themselves, but the beads have not been consecrated. They're just regular white beads. And I think that's kind of, it's probably a little deceptive because people don't really know what they have. So that's good to know. Let's scroll. And I know we're getting close on time, so let's see if we can get close to this other one. So the next one is the Igbing. And I think I heard some stories about Igbing as well. So this is, I believe this is a Igbing here.
Oh.
Here. And I'm not sure if this is Ogele or if Ogele is a drum, but so I guess can you speak about Igbing? I've heard of one story, and this was what Baba Kola and Bimbola told me when I was studying Ifa years ago, is that there was a story with Ọbàtálá's wife. And of course, Obatala has more than one wife, but Yemu is the principal wife. And he was married to Igbing, and for some reason, Igbing wanted to run away and marry someone else. And
Yeah,
so, again, they
it's a
thought,
story about Igbin and Ojele,
yes, that's
the
it. Okay.
wife of Ọbàtálá in the Odu, Idingbe.
Correct.
Idingba, Idingbe. Bàtà gbá àbìtì ká ẹ̀. Adíá fún Ogele, ètí ń ṣọmọ òrìṣà gbòògbò, ètí ń ṣayé òrìṣà gbòògbò jìn. Ẹ̀bùn wọn ni ó ṣe, ǹjẹ́ mo gbógele náà òrìṣà fọ̀rọ̀ Ogele jìn. Mo gbógele náà òrìṣà fọ̀rọ̀ Ogele jìn. This is a story of Ojele, who he ran away from Ọbàtálá. So, and he went to the market. She was warned not to go out. So she now went on one market day. He went out and Igbin saw her. He saw her because she was very beautiful. So Igbin has to, chase her. You understand? At the end of the day, Ojele fall in love with Igbin. And the reason why this happened was that, Ọbàtálá has many wives. So hardly for someone to take care of, different wives that you have. So I think Ojele wants to have a freedom. And in another version, they say Ojele happens to be the daughter of Ọbàtálá. You get it? That he never listened to Ọbàtálá. So one day he went to the market square. So that was how Igbin saw her, and on the long run, Igbin approached her, and she fell in love with Igbin. So Igbin took her home as a wife. So for a very long time, Ọbàtálá was searching, and someone told Ọbàtálá that, see, your daughter that you are finding is at so place. So when Igbin got to know that Ọbàtálá has got him, so he had to went to Babalawo Idingbe, and consult that something has happened, and know that as Ọbàtálá has known now, he can't say what is actually going to happen to him. So he was asked to make sacrifice. He did, but for Ọbàtálá to kill him, Ọbàtálá turned him to what? Turned him to drum. That as from today, you are going to be the one that will be drumming. So that is how Ojele is being turned to drum. Igbin is being turned to drum. And anytime we are beating the Igbin drum, so the beat that actually comes out of it is Fọ̀rọ̀ Ogele jìn. Mo gbógele náà fọ̀rọ̀ Ogele jìn. Fijìn. Mo gbégele náà. So when they are beating this drum, especially in the temple of Ọbàtálá, so this sound comes out. Fijìn. 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 So those are the beats the sound that comes out of the Igbin. Fijìn means to forgive. Fijìn, to forgive, to pardon someone. So that's the meaning. So it's Ọbàtálá that turned Igbin to drum. So that is why we have Igbin drum, according to the myth in Seseefun. So that is why we have the Igbin drums in Ọbàtálá house or Ọbàtálá temple.
Yeah, thank you. And that was a similar story, that I heard as well, is that right, that she and I think one of the name of the diviners in that story is amazing. And so of course when you're studying, I think I got an example here. So like when you're studying divination poetry, when you're studying divination. Oh wow, so this is weird. So yeah, this is another one poem here, and it has the name of the diviner, and this is a story from Atapi Wori, where Orunmila was attempting to have an affair with Obatala's wife Yemu, and so when you have the first couple of names before Adifafun, or Dafun or Bufu, it's letting you know that and this is one from my 16 Kairos. So it's letting you know, who's divining for this person. So I think one of the name of the diviners was one single day of indiscretion can ruin you for the rest of your days. And so, they were thinking to do this act. I'm sorry.
Iṣẹ́ kan ò mójú, èèyàn kan ò mú un. Ebi pàlejò ló dá fún oní. I can't see it clearly.
Oh, I'm sorry. So I'm sorry. No, I was trying to find the right poem, but that wasn't the poem that went with that. I'm sorry. Yeah, I have a couple of essays here, but that wasn't the one from yeah, I'm trying to find it, but that wasn't the one from with Being, but I guess I'll find that one a little bit later. But it was stating that, and I guess it was just bringing the importance of what you were saying on how the drum is saying, please forgive me, or please forgive me. And this is what, Being was saying after, they were turned into the drum. So hopefully I can find that essay, maybe in some other classes that we have. We'll go over, the essays that specifically talk about Ọbàtálá. So I think that's a good way to learn about, his energy and what he experienced by going over those stories. And so I'll make sure I'll tag them. But it's interesting that you said that drum has its own, has that own pattern, or has that own rhythm. So in our culture, I think that it was told to us that for all drummers, they have to have an icon of ion, or they're supposed to receive ion. Do you know that people who drum Igbing, do they have to have any type of ion icon, or is this just a separate drumming practice that only belongs to Ọbàtálá?
No. They don't.
Okay.
They don't receive anything like iron.
Okay. So and is this and I have a similar drum. It's not the Igbing, but I think it was made from Kenya. So, but it looks very similar to the Igbing. So when they're creating this, of course, this is the drum itself consecrated as well. I think we see the efun, or there's there's a white paint on the bottom. But is this drum ritually prepared?
It's white paint. They just painted it white.
Okay.
This is one from Ọbàtálá temple in Ile-Ife.
Okay.
You got it? So it is painted white.
Okay. Well, so that's the and I guess I'm looking at the time. Let's stop here for the day. Does anybody else have any questions before we leave for the day? I know we had a whole bunch of stuff that we went over. But is there any general questions that we have over the material that we discussed today? And let me check the chat to be sure I didn't miss anything.
I just did have one question. Good morning, Epa Orisha.
Um,
You mentioned a book about Obatala, the God of Creativity. I think I have that one. Are there
okay.
any
Yeah.
other Obatala books that are out? Because I think that there are only the ones by Eli Buibon and that one that you mentioned. Or if anybody knows anything else, any other
No,
Obatala books. No,
so
that's
no,
it.
we don't. Me especially, I don't used to read. So if I have any information which I need about Orisha, I would rather go to the high priest just to me to put me through, because most of all these books on Orisha at times, some some didn't do their research deeply.
Mm-hmm.
So as sometimes it brings a lot of confusion.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
You get it? So
Yes,
anything that has to do with any books that has to do with Ọbàtálá, which I read at times, when I see some wrong information from it, so I don't really. That is why I don't like picking up books. They say do these books on Ọbàtálá. You can read it, and at the end of the day, the information that is within will not be okay. Will not be okay to your own satisfaction.
Mm-hmm.
So if I
yeah.
need any information that has to do with Ọbàtálá at times, so I'll prefer go straight to any person who happens to be a devotee of that particular Orisha. You understand? To have a better and excellent answer.
Mm-hmm. And yeah,
Okay.
and yeah, and it's the same. So I know with a lot of things that are there, they're either made from they are made from people who aren't Obatala practitioners, and to me, that's been the biggest problem. Is that there's a lot of things that are written on, not only some people who, for one, people who aren't our same bloodline or our same ethnicity. One, two, that people don't practice; they just research. Three is that some people are just Ifa devotees or not, Obatala. So this is the
Yes.
main reason why I'm doing, we're doing what we're doing here. Is that I got a good amount of pages typed, and these came from firsthand experiences, interviews, the essays themselves, and this is what we're composing now. So yeah, we got what, like, here, looking at, like, looking at the page here, we have well over 400 or 500 pages just on Obatala alone before we get to the other deities. So Orisha willing in time is that the first book should be done next year, and then what me and Baba and Funlade are presenting now, we're gonna put this into a book, and then we'll have them revise and we'll put it out. But yeah, that was the main reason why we're creating what we've been doing now. We've been writing this book for over maybe like 5 or 6 years, from firsthand experiences, because again, a lot of stuff that people say, they don't worship Obatala, and some folks are just making stuff up that ain't,
Yeah.
that's
They're
true. That's
just writing books. They're just writing. They don't. When you get to some Babalao, all don't Babalao can give you the full details,
Mhm.
information about Ọbàtálá. But to those who are the devotee, they'll be able to pour more attention on what Babalawo at times don't know.
Mhm. So just yeah, so just stay tuned, sister. We have some things for you, and hopefully once we go through this material here, we'll kind of design it. We'll think it out. So after this praxis course, again, there are some other classes that I have prepared, and we'll go over the certain entities in full. But I think what will be beneficial in the meantime, after we get through this material, is that we can just pull up the essays that specifically refer to Obatala, and that will kind of give us, a good foundation to where to start at. So, and I agree. Unfortunately, but besides Ifayemi's book, there's one book called Obatala, the Greatest and Oldest Divinity. Hold on.
I think I have that book too,
Okay.
and I read it a long time ago before. I mean, it's just been years that I've read that, but I do have that one. Yes. That's
Yeah.
the one I think he was okay.
So that one it's okay. Like, and from what I always say a lot, that even a broken clock is right twice a day. So I would say, like, a little bit, about half of the material there, I can agree is correct. Some are incorrect. And one last thing that I would recommend that I think that is okay is by Ifeanyi's wife, Oyelola. So she has some Oshapipe there. Some majority of it seems, correct, but I know that, and I was translating some words to where some things seemed like it had like maybe a possible Christian or New Age influence when they said something like, IGK, something Olodumare, but it seemed like it was contrived, not necessarily additionally Sheshe, but she has some good Oshapipe there. So you could also read that. And Baba Efunlade said he's gonna assist us in getting some Obatala praise poetry. I have maybe about 30 pages of Oshapipe as well. So hopefully that would help out. I just need to type it up and put it on the site, but this can also be a good resource.
Okay. All right, yeah. I prefer everything to be kind of oral too, because sometimes I think the books, yeah, they have sometimes Lukumi information, and so it's mixed, sometimes in there by accident or however they do the research, and then sometimes those books are like spirituality on demand when it's not really like that. In Yoruba land, it's passed down, you hear it and you absorb it, and then you live it. So
Right,
I was
right.
just curious about those, those books.
No problem. Right. And so that's the difficult thing about, what does the practice looking like moving forward? It was, apprentice-like style. But like, again, how do we bridge the gap between, us here and the resources over there? So hopefully we can find a good way forward. So you did ask some good questions, but yeah, out of all the books that are out there, these are about the only three that I would even consider.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. All right. Well, thank you all. Thank you, Baba Osha. Efunlade, once again, we really appreciate your help in giving us your information. Thank you again. And I believe we'll pick up next week. We have maybe a couple more implements. Well, actually, two more implements, and then we'll discuss Yamu and some stories about Obatala. And if you guys want, I guess, a different way for it to be presented, or if there's certain materials that you want us to go over, let us know. And then once this course concludes, we can rethink the pot or find some more ways to kind of get the information out there. So just let me know what you need and we'll find a way to get it. Again, thank you, Baba, and I'll see you next week. Mauricia
Yeah.
F. Odabo.
Professional.
Dad. Dad.